And for more, we welcome in two pillars of the Golf on CBS podcast, Shane Bacon and Patrick McDonald. Always a pleasure to be with you, fellas. Shane, what did you make of the test presented here at East Lake before we get specific on some names? Renovations, I know you saw it on Wednesday as well. How'd you like the test?
I mean, I thought it'd be tough. Rough looked like it was tough. You know, you got fall-off areas like you saw in 16 seemed tough, and then these guys go out there and do this. The greens are really, really good right now at East Lake, and you saw that today, obviously, from Russell Henley with all the feats of putt made. But, I mean, it's a golf course that simply is an old-school golf course, Donald Ross-level design, and you can do all the restoration work you want, and these guys are going to find ways to shoot 6 and 7 and 8 under par. When the winds are down and this place is soft and ball in hand, this is what you're going to get. Guys going out there and shooting incredibly low numbers. You know who else shot a low number, Patrick? Mr. Scottie Scheffler. That's the guy's name, right?
Yeah, it does not matter what golf course you put Scottie Scheffler on. I believe that's now 18 rounds, sub 70 for Scheffler, approaching a new PGA Tour record here shortly. But, yeah, I'm echoing everything Shane said. It's just really hard for the PGA Tour to ramp up a golf course that is soft when these guys do have the ball in hand. It doesn't matter where you put the pins, but these greens kind of settling compared to last year as well. Also, I thought Colin Morikawa made a really good point how on some of these holes they were just trying to hit their irons to the front of the greens last year so they wouldn't roll through the back. Now they have a little bit more control of their golf ball now that these greens are softer, now that they've really settled with the second year of the renovation. And so it really did not matter what the PGA Tour did today. These guys were going to tear it up no matter what.
It made for some interesting scrambling opportunity around these greens, all the renovation green side, but still low numbers posted. I believe tournament average as of right now through 18 holes, nearly 3 strokes under par the way it played here on Thursday. It is training camp season, so it's worth a reminder. Low man wins. Russell Henley threw the gauntlet to a tune of a 61, 207 feet of putts made. Patrick, a career best. He was your pre-tourney pick. I'm not calling for the victory lap just yet, certainly not, but we will offer track for assessment. What'd you see?
I might have to take it because I'm not going to have another chance to take the victory lap, right? It's like you're leading the mile after the first lap around the track right now. But you know there's the guy right behind you who's going to overtake you shortly enough. But I think it's just so impressive the way Russell Henley gets the job done. You mentioned the low man wins. Well, you want to know who was ranked number 30th today in terms of driving distance. It was Russell Henley at 290 yards. He was getting clipped by Rory McIlroy by 20 yards per drive. But it's just a stereotypical Russell Henley round where he doesn't chew off too much. He doesn't take on unneeded risk. He takes what the golf course gives him, and then guess what? He has one of those all-time days on the greens, and that's how you get a 61, one of the best rounds of his career. You make over 200 feet of putts. Obviously, that's not going to happen throughout the rest of this golf tournament, but it gets you off to a good start and gets you a little bit clear of that guy in the rearview mirror.
207 feet of putts, and he's too clear of Scottie Scheffler. 207 feet of putts he made, and he's only too clear of Scottie Scheffler. I don't know what you do, honestly. I don't know if you got to get Brad Dahlke out there and tackle Scottie Scheffler in the middle of the fifth fairway or something. But, I mean, it's just so wild. I know we're talking Russell right now, but it's just so wild what Scottie Scheffler's able to do and the pressure he puts on everybody. I mean, Russell Henley after the rounds telling Cara Banks, you know, one of the best rounds I've played, one of the best seasons I've had, and it still feels like he's inevitably going to lose. So a great opening round, great play. Congratulations. If they hand out opening round awards, he's going to get it. And Russell Henley, I think, is going to be one of the top 2 or 3 great players on that American Ryder Cup team. But still, Scottie's right there. Scottie's chasing him. And what I love about the Tour Championship is they get paired together on Friday. So he'll get to see Scottie up close and personal tomorrow.
We will have your Friday preview coming up here on CBS Sports HQ. Almost perfectly mirrored by the play of Bobby Mack a week ago. Post that 9 under number, I believe it was, in the opening round. Made 200-plus feet of putts, and then followed it up with more of the same and 2 more of those 3 remaining days, and it just wasn't enough. So I guess we did bury the lead here, fellas. Numbers notwithstanding, feels like the lead always belongs to Scheffler. Closes with a flurry of his own. 3 of the last 4, and the par might have been the most impressive we saw in that stretch. Shane, do you see a change in demeanor or focus? How does he always manage to sprint through the line?
I don't see any change in demeanor or focus. I think that's the best skill Scottie Scheffler has, is it's playing against his buddies or playing in the Tour Championship, playing at Augusta National, playing at the Ryder Cup in a few weeks at Bethpage Black. He approaches every round, every shot, all the same, and that's his skill. I mean, his incredible skill is in between the ears. We talk about the golf swing and the pitching and obviously the putting right now. I think the change, Moose, is the putting, and you got it on 16, right? I mean, he hits it in a spot nobody's ever got it up and down since the restoration work here at East Lake. He's the first to do it, but he's patient with that pitch shot. He hits it to 25 feet, and then he rolls in the par putt. That's the difference this year with Scottie Scheffler than years past. And I just want to say this as you look at the scorecard. Let's rewind, if you will, back a very long time ago to the BMW Championship. Thursday, Scottie's playing fine, not great. Birdies 3 of his last 4 holes to post a good score. He does that again today. Birdies 3 of his last 4. This is what Scottie does, and he gets it done in these opening rounds. Patrick, this is now 15 of 19. 15 of 19 opening rounds this season where Scottie shot in the 60s, not under par, shot in the 60s. Everybody knows when Scottie goes out there, he's going to be 3, 4, 5 under par after that opening round of golf.
Yeah, and I bet those 4 were early on with the hand, not quite 100% quite yet. But, yeah, you got to look at 16. I think there's a quote that Ted Scott always tells Scottie. It's, let your next shot be the great one. Because we saw 3 guys step to number 16 in that position, rolling through their rounds. J.J. Spawn made a triple bogey from down below. Justin Thomas made a double bogey from down below. Had to make an 8-footer for that double bogey. Scottie Scheffler takes his medicine, and guess what? He rolls in the 25-footer. He turns that 3-hole stretch to end Musso, a stretch that should probably be, I don't know, even par when you make a bogey on 16, a par on 17, and a birdie on 18. No. He turns that into 2 under par and sprints through the finish line. He goes from potentially 4 back to 2 back in that final group with Russell Henley, applying pressure, like Shane said. It's just always sprinting through the finish line for Scottie Scheffler, and I thought that last hour of that round was really indicative of that.
It really was, and it's just another way to outline the difference between Scottie and everybody else in the world right now. I had my heart set on talking to little JT, and then he finds himself in that same spot. I'm gonna do it anyway, Patrick. 59 watch became 64 watch. 16 JT's undoing, sort of reflective of his season in some ways. Big flashes, but lacking in that complete consistency. How do you measure the day in total for Thomas?
Yeah, JT is kind of the guy we want Jordan Spieth to be like. I feel like where he does have those highest of highs. He's so fun to watch. He hits all these different golf shots, but he's just so wild off the tee. I mean, he was just brutal with the driver in hand today and was still able to get around effectively, making it that much more impressive. Turning in 29, he was one of those guys who was making just about everything on the greens. I believe he had connected on over 100 feet of putts by the time he made the turn. And then, like you mentioned, 16, middle of the fairway, wedge in hand. That pin is such a no-no. Right is a big X on your yardage book, and he went chasing for one. He got a little greedy, and he paid the price, and he compounded mistakes as well, where Scottie Scheffler didn't, left it at his feet, and ultimately made it a kind of good double bogey, all said and done. But a great round, a great start for Justin Thomas, and showing a little form, which is good to see, too.
I mean, misses a whole bunch of fairways. I mean, this is going to be a big issue at the Ryder Cup. I mean, he's going to make the team. I know we're going to talk Ryder Cup in a little bit. I mean, Justin Thomas is going to be wearing red, white, and blue. Going to be tough to miss this many fairways and post that level of score. But obviously, the putter, to Patrick's point, helped out a lot. 155 feet of putts for the round. A lot of those kind of early in his round. JT just does this stuff, right? I mean, he can make a lot of birdies, but he has the unexpected big number on the scorecard. It feels like every round. He has that random number of 77 or 78, you know, to open a lot of golf tournaments. And you just can't do that right now in modern golf with Scottie Scheffler around. You could do it if you want to finish 8th. You could do it if you want to finish 12th. But if you want to contend and win, you just can't make these mistakes because Scottie Scheffler doesn't. He hit in the same spot and he made 4 and JT made 6. And that's the difference, right? I mean, Scottie's not losing shots after, you know, probably a mistake that he doesn't typically make, and JT tries to get cute and walks away with double. That's the big difference in everybody else in golf and what Scottie's able to do.
So you're pairing them up for all shots, Scottie and JT? No.
Sure. I mean, I'm in on everybody with Scottie. Can Scottie play with everybody?
Let him go out there for every match. It's just a thought experiment until late September, but we're going to go through a little bit of it coming up here on CBS Sports HQ. Thank you, gentlemen. A look here at the most rounds of 63 or lower over the last 40 years. Russell Henley can take it to the depths. Check your pressure gauges. He does it again here on Thursday. A 61 to start and 2 clear of Scheffler. Ball in hand means ball in hole for the top 30 in the FedEx Cup standings. Preferred lies in play, day 1 of the Tour Championship at Eastlake. Spelled 61 for Russell Henley, who posts the pace, but that force of nature you saw looms large. Scottie Scheffler just 2 off it after making 3 birdies in his final 4 holes. A look here at your BMW Championship leaderboard. Apologies there, as we will continue the talk here at Eastlake. Water levels set to rise at Eastlake. More rain in the forecast, but I think in this case, gentlemen, the rising tide, it sinks all ships. Scottie being that tide, but let's talk about some of the changes here. First goes off at 8 a.m. Final pairing at 10:44. Heavy rain expected around 1 o'clock. Shane, advantage or disadvantage in any particular part of this field with the change?
I don't think so. I mean, ball in hand, I think, helps everybody out. I mean, any of the great ball strikers, and most of the guys in the field are great ball strikers. I don't think there's necessarily a player that it helps out. Maybe somebody that finds a lot of fairways. I mean, somebody that drives a golf ball like Russell Henley. Russell said, I drove it as good as I can drive it on Thursday, so maybe help somebody like that. But Scottie was brilliant with the driver, so I'd say near the top of the leaderboard is helped by this. But again, find the fairways, you're going to take advantage. Don't find the fairways, you might struggle with that thick rough at Eastlake. But I'd say all of these guys near the top of the leaderboard are driving the golf ball well around this golf course.
Totally agree. If you're long and straight tomorrow, I think you're just in such an advantageous position. If Justin Thomas, for example, drives the ball like he did today, tomorrow, I think he'll be in a little bit of a world of pain. Meanwhile, Rory McIlroy drove it great. Ludwig Oberg drove it great. Kind of on the outskirts of contention, you would say, only 3 behind Scottie Scheffler, but that seems like a million at this point in the PGA Tour season. So I think if you're long and straight off the tee, like Shane mentioned, with the ball in hand, that'll just put you in a really good spot to attack these soft greens.
All right, let's continue to add intrigue, because if I may, weather's going to come later in the day when the lead groups are out there. Maybe those a little bit further down the leaderboard have a small advantage. Give me a player to make a move, Patrick.
I love Ludwig tomorrow. He was 3 under through his first 3 holes. He chipped in for 1. I thought this guy was off and running. Got it to 4 under through 6. Took advantage of the par 5. And that's unfortunately where he finished. He was number 1 on the day in terms of strokes gained tee to green. And it seemed like every time they flashed this guy on the television, he was missing an 11-footer and just burning the edge. It was. I thought I was watching the golf on a loop at one point, because it was just Ludwig missing another putt and another putt. But he has really found his game the last month or so. And I think a lot of it has to do with course management for Ludwig. He's not making those stupid mistakes that really hindered him in the major championships this year, at the Scottish Open when he was in contention there over the weekend. It feels like he's playing real professional golf right now, and that's kind of what's needed around this golf course. So I think he has a great chance to make a move tomorrow, like I mentioned, with that driving ability, that upside of his. And if he makes a few more of those 11-footers, he was like the only one who did not make a putt of substance today. I think he has a good chance to move up that leaderboard.
Patrick, I hope Keegan Bradley's not listening right now. I'm going to go with another European Ryder Cupper, Viktor Hovland, of course, the winner here in 2023. Irons were brutal today for Viktor Hovland in terms of approach. That's a place that he dominates on the PGA Tour, second this season in that department. Opened bogey, and after that, Viktor kind of got to work. 2 under par, so he's well down the leaderboard. But just like Ludwig, I mean, Viktor's been trending. I mean, the way he's played over the last couple of months, way better than we saw earlier this season, a little bit more consistent golf. And again, when you're losing shots with the irons and you're Viktor Hovland, that's going to be the outlier round. I think he picks it up tomorrow. I think Viktor's low round on Friday.
Said he found a feel last week. You know, he's perpetually searching. Something about trunk tilt. He can get into the minutia of it, and that we always enjoy. That's our player to make a move. As for a pick to win, I know that Patrick pre-tournament went with Russell Henley, so I assume that there's no reason to move off that right now. Shane Bacon, you and I are going to have a conversation about Scottie Scheffler. They're giving away $10 million for first place, so much to play for beyond him. But tell me why it's going to be Scottie and by how many.
He's the best golfer in the world. It's probably the reason he's the scariest player that's ever existed, I feel like, since Tiger Woods. He shoots extremely low numbers. He's hitting a whole bunch of fairways. On a golf course, you've got to find fairways. And, oh, by the way, he's one of the best putters in the world this season. I think that's probably part of the reason. I'm going to go Scottie Scheffler. I said this a couple weeks ago, and I continue to say it. I think Scottie's the only person on the planet unimpressed with Scottie Scheffler and the way he's going about his business. it's just fun to watch. I mean, I think there was a point, Joe, that we were a little bored by it. I'm not bored by it anymore. I love brilliance. I love dominance. I love Brady. I love LeBron. I love the Warriors. I want to see Federer win Wimbledon, and I want to see Scottie continue to pick up the trophies. I mean, you think about that rarefied air that he could join if he wins this thing. It's Rory, it's Tiger, and then it would be Scottie. Continue to pile him up, young man. I love the way he's playing, and I love the way he's able to dominate early in these weeks and kind of put the pressure on everybody else.
I think retroactively, we need to call this the Scottie rule. Them taking starting strokes away was just to keep us engaged, if not for a few more days before he runs away with this thing on Sunday. Patrick McDonald, why can Russell Henley do it?
Well, first, it sounds like Shane's a Duke basketball fan, a Cowboys fan also. Wow. He's cheering on all the big timers.
All the favorites, baby.
Maybe the Chiefs these days. But look, Russell Henley, of course, he just had a career day on the greens, but he is just so rock steady when it comes from his tee to green play. I don't think he can keep up with Scottie Scheffler, but if he can continue a similar pace, half of this pace, a quarter of this pace on the greens, and then maintain what he's doing from tee to green, I think he does have a fighting chance just because he's going to pound 11 fairways. He's going to pound 12 fairways. He's going to hit 15, 16 greens in regulation, and that just gives him such a high floor. Remember last year in the final round, Russell Henley shot 62 as well. He's very comfortable around this golf course, playing his last 2 rounds now in 17 under par. And so I think he does have a fighter's chance. It could be a Jaws situation where we're going to need a bigger boat, but hopefully Russell Henley can ride the tide here.
It's his boat this day with that 61, something to be celebrated, certainly. We'll see where we are on Sunday when it's all said and done. Shane, you alluded to it. Final data points are being gathered by Keegan Bradley and also on the European side by Luke Donald, but captain's picks will be released on Wednesday. Fellas, the name jockeying, it's nearly at the point of nauseum. We're going to get to the names, but I just want to explore a little bit here. These projections, how much can they change between now and Wednesday, or do you think that Captain Keegan has it written in pen right now, Shane?
I think they're probably firmed up at this point. I don't think, going out there and shooting some crazy number the next couple of rounds at East Lake's going to change anything. I'm pretty comfortable with my picks. I think Patrick and I are probably on the same page in terms of who we're going to go with, or at least who we think Keegan is going to go with. We're probably at least rock solid on 5 of the 6. I mean, we mentioned JT. He's going to be on that team. Morikawa also going to be on that team. I like Griffin. I like Cam Young. I think Keegan makes the team. I think Keegan's going to pick himself. And my last pick, I think, is Goddard. I mean, I feel like these are the guys you want to roll into Bethpage with. You're going to be the inexperienced team if you're the United States. I mean, the Europeans know who they're going to play with, and they know who's going to be on that squad. For the Americans, it's going to be a whole lot of rookies, and a lot of those guys I mentioned are rookies. But I feel like those are the guys you got to roll with if you're Keegan Bradley.
Yeah, we're pretty similar. I don't have Chris Goddard up on my pick. I have Patrick Cantlay instead. Like you mentioned, a lot of rookies there potentially for Captain Keegan Bradley. I think you got to lean on someone like Cantlay. Good round today obviously helps, and I think his results haven't been as poor as some people believe them to be. And I'm with you, Shane. I'm with Keegan Bradley on this team. I know it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, right? If Keegan Bradley goes out there and plays poorly, it'll be like, oh, he could have picked Sam Burns instead, and vice versa. But come on, live a little, people. We don't see a playing captain in the Ryder Cup ever. How cool could this be? Are you kidding me? Like Keegan Bradley marching onto the first tee. Could it be a horrible decision? Fine. Yes, potentially. But could it be absolute theater there at Bethpage Black? I do believe so. If Keegan Bradley doesn't pick himself, I think it's pretty much going to be Sam Burns instead of him. But I'd much rather have Keegan Bradley playing instead of Sam Burns at this point.
.com Pat would love that. Pat in the hat on the team for Patrick McDonald as well. It's going to be a blast at Bethpage, and it's going to be a blast on Wednesday when we find out if it is Keegan or not. Gentlemen, great work as always. Plenty of talk between now and then. A look here at your details. Again, 6 U.S. captains picks coming your way August 27th. That's this coming Wednesday. The Europeans will release theirs shortly thereafter on September 1st. It's U.S. versus Europe on the black from the 26th to the 28th. And remember, the last road winner was that Miracle at Medina.